Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amber if this is your first time here. So today's video is going to be in English because I feel like my YouTube channel deserves better. So I'm going to talk about stuff that is related to my experience in the past month with the recorder. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. On this channel I post videos in English and Chinese, and I do Sims videos, makeup videos, talking videos, music videos. Basically you get all you can get from me, so that's cool. If you like this video, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I don't know how to do this YouTuber-esque intro. It's different from BD, so bear with me. So in the past month of recorder learning, I started off with not knowing anything about the, fingering, the embouchure, how to use your breath. But I am a horn player, and that makes the air aspect and, articulation aspect easier for me to pick up. I've learned to play stuff on this instrument, but it doesn't mean I can master it. I don't think you can master an instrument in a month. I just don't think it's possible for any instrument out there. Every instrument is a form of art that we sometimes underestimate, which I'm gonna get into later. I'm just pissed at people. Some people are snobs. I don't understand. Obviously, in a month, I can't learn every single thing about the recorder, which is a shame because it's a really joyful instrument. What I did was I looked up videos on YouTube by, recorder players. It was super helpful, and that really helps, I guess, just familiarizing myself with the fingering. So that's pretty cool, but that's maybe one of the only sources I've consulted when it comes to learning the recorder. I also found this fingering chart that is kind of helpful, but after I memorized it, I just don't need it anymore. And there are several notes that I still can't hit. So the section I just talked about was just basically me acknowledging that I'm not super educated on how to do this instrument correctly because I'm basically self-taught by a video. So yeah. Second, it's the most important thing. If you're gonna take away something from this video, this is gonna be the one. And it's why I'm making this video in English, because I feel like people need to listen to this. People need to hear this. I don't care who you are, you have to listen to this. A lot of people don't like the recorder because they think it's a toy. With that, I can only just say, all instruments are toys. I don't understand why people are so, butthurt about the recorder when it's actually a really beautiful instrument to play and to, I guess, practice and to learn as a skill for, a composer, an ethnomusicologist, a musician, or just someone who likes music. I don't understand. I think there are two reasons why this is happening. First, the instrument is literally shaped like a PVC tube. I understand it looks very, I guess, simple and crude and even primitive, but it's still an instrument that is worth noting. If you look at this instrument, and if you've been in an ensemble or whatever it is, you will think it looks like a clarinet. Clarinets have, keys instead of holes. They have a mouthpiece that you attach a reed into it, so people think it's better for some reason. I'm not saying I don't like the clarinet. Clarinet is one of my favorite instruments to write for in an ensemble, but I just don't understand why people just don't take this seriously. Also, people don't even realize that the recorder is a full-on family. You have the soprano, the alto, the tenor, and the baritone or bass. I don't know, I think it's baritone. It's basically the same with, some woodwinds. A lot of people kind of make fun of this instrument, of its timbre. I don't think that's appropriate, and it goes the same in my opinion for, making fun of piccolos, bassoons, I guess tuba and other instruments. It's just not okay, I guess, because every instrument has their function, has their place in the ensemble, even though a recorder is not in a classical music, orchestra or band or whatever. Y'all are treating it like it's trash. So I'm just not understanding this. The second reason why people don't take this instrument seriously is because you can start learning this instrument very easily. First of all, this instrument is very cheap. You can get it on Amazon. I got mine 8 years ago at a music shop when I visited my aunt and uncle, and I'm still playing it. It doesn't go bad. And I'm not saying instruments go bad, but these are pretty low maintenance as well. This instrument, you can just blow into it and you'll have a decent sounding note. It might not be the best intonation, it might not be the most desiring sound, but I do feel like this is easier when it comes to picking it up. When it comes to intonation, even though it's kind of hard to control the intonation on the recorder, which I'm going to talk about later in the music education segment, I will say it's much easier than the violin or a string instrument that has no frets. Yeah, so to sum up, the reason why people don't take this instrument seriously is first because of the shape it looks like, then second because it's very easy to pick up. So I'm a brass player, as I just mentioned, I play the horn. It's a hellish instrument. As a brass player learning this instrument, I mentioned earlier that air and articulation is easy. So right? So like you can hear the clear articulation. The articulation is very, very free. It's kind of like when you talk and you have to do hello, that type of movement. It's very minimum and it's very effortless. You have a pretty relaxed embouchure and you don't need to kind of do the thing with brass instrument. One of the drawback that I have with learning the recorder is the fingering. This instrument has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes. The last two has 2 holes on them. I'm just gonna call them pig nose because it looks like a pig nose. I don't think you guys can see it, but yeah, it's a pig nose. And you have a trigger, in my opinion. So this hole on the back, and then it's all smooth on the back. Fingering is kind of hard because you have a lot of fingers to work with and to coordinate with notes, and it's hard. I do think it's kind of a brain or mental gymnastic, but it's fun. It's fun. I want to talk about music education when it comes to recorder because first of all, I'm sure a lot of people learned a recorder when they're in elementary school. Honestly, I didn't do it. When I was in elementary school, my music teacher, she was professional on Chinese music, by the way, so that's kind of interesting. And she was like, I'm not gonna have you guys learn the recorder because it's hard to tune. You can't get a good tuning. And looking back at what she said, it actually makes a lot of sense. I guess because of the intricacy of this instrument compared to clarinets and flutes and other instruments. With that being said, this instrument can make a lot of whistly sounds when you don't cover them correctly, yeah, so you get this overtone, and I'm gonna explain one by one with my playing how the recorder is kind of a pain in the butt when it comes to music ed and tuning. Especially, I feel like it's important to establish the right tuning inside young people's ears. It's really important. First, I want to mention is the fingering. So when I first started playing, I was like, hey, I think this sounds like a D major scale. I'm gonna play it to you and showing you my fingering. So you can hear that it sounds like a D major scale, but it's not in tune. A lot of kids, if they're kind of, musically programmed in their brain, when they get this instrument, they will tend to do the same thing, lifting the fingers one by one. But the correct way to play the D major scale looks like this. So as you can hear, the tuning is a lot different, and it's just kind of a butthurt to have to explain fingering to kids, especially if your kids are pretty young. I don't think they have the attention span to sit down and actually look at the fingering charts. And so I think it's more high maintenance in that aspect of fingering. And I'll play the 2 F sharps for you guys right now, and so you can see what's the difference. First, I'm gonna play the right one, and then I'm gonna play the wrong one. It's almost a semitone away, so you don't want that. So tuning issues that stems from wrong fingering can be, hassle. And then it's the air. It is a less stable instrument, and the mouthpiece is basically just a slot that you can breathe in. I'm just breathing, and you get a note. So it is easier to make a noise on the recorder, but it's also harder to control because a little bit of air can add to your, tuning issue. I'm gonna play you a note. I'm gonna play B. It's in their mid-range and it's not having their midlife crisis. And I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna bend it with my mouth, with my air, so you can hear the difference between, the right tuning and the wrong tuning. So here's the B. Here's a bend of the B. It's the same fingering. It's just me moving my lips. And it would be also kind of hard for kids to learn chromatic scale on this instrument because it's pretty intricate down here, the pig notes. I'm gonna play a chromatic scale for you. I might mess it up. I might edit it out. I don't care. So that's the chromatic scale, but there's a lot of finessing. As you can see, my finger moved around a lot, and it's a lot of different combinations that you need to remember. I'm gonna show you one or two notes and the finessing of it. So when it comes to playing in the higher octave, you have to cover half of this hole in the back. I'll call it trigger for now. You cover half of the trigger. So if I play an E in the lower register, I'll have to cover the trigger fully, and I'll have to, you know, make the, I guess, fingering. So here's the E. Here's the E on the upper octave. The fingering in front is the same, but on the back of the instrument it's different. So it's not really that easy. An alternative to the recorder for music ed is going to be the Melodica. You have the piano keys and you have a little mouthpiece. So in middle school, I had this music class where the teacher basically gives us a melodica. By the time we're learning that instrument, I already pretty established on playing the piano. I'm not anymore. The reason why I think the melodica is better for music ed, especially for younger kids, is that first of all, you have the piano keys. And the piano keys or the keyboard is such an important thing for kids to learn in, you know, music theory, in composition, in, I guess, a lot of things. If you know what the keyboard looks like, you can pretty much do a lot of things with it. Play a tune, play a melody, play chords. So that way you have the keyboard established. It doesn't make a noise when you don't give enough air, because it's kind of like an organ where you have to push in enough air for it to, I guess, vibrate. But for the recorder, if you don't give enough air, you're just gonna get like a note that's a lot lower or a lot flatter. Just like that. The next thing I want to talk about is ethnomusicology, which is something I am kind of interested in, and I've been kind of doing without noticing. Me and my family travel a lot, and we go to places around the world, and you know, in China, and we go to places where we can listen to folk music. I usually, you know, take notes and just see what the musicians have to say and what's the musical practice, and I just thought it's really interesting and it's really inspiring. Which I have a video on my channel where I talk about Chinese poetry. If you want to check it out, please do. The reason why I think the recorder is such a good instrument for ethnomusicology and just the field work is because, first of all, it's really portable. You can carry it like this, or you can just kind of split it into 3 pieces like a clarinet. So this instrument is portable, as I just mentioned, but also flutes, or the sound of the flute, or you know, the sound of the air passing through a tube, is something that a lot of cultures share. So if you go to China, you hear the Chinese bamboo flute, you can mimic it. And if you go visit the Dai people of China, they have the gourd organ. I'm going to translate it in a really weird way. I might put the correct translation on the screen and the picture so you'll know what it is. In Arab music, you have the ney. It is something that a lot of cultures share. I want to play a few things that shows the versatility of this instrument when it comes to playing world music melodies. First, I'm going to play a piece called Bamboo Under the Moon. It's a Dai piece. It's just very interesting to see how a lot of cultures share the sound of the flute or the you know, recorder, the air passing through a tube. It's mind-blowing. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about composition because I'm a composition major. I am a composer. I guess learning instruments is just something that as a composer I'm really inclined to do. I can't speak for other composers, but it's really, really interesting. There are not a lot of pieces, or I guess collections, by contemporary composers that are written for the recorder. I would say after a month of spending time with the recorder, I kind of love it. I do, I really do. I was like, I'm gonna compose a collection of etudes for the recorder. I did find a lot of things that are interesting to put into an etude book. I'm also gonna do a video where I talk about extended techniques on the recorder, which is not gonna be a lot. because I have to play around with it. I really wish I can be a better person to talk about the recorder, but I think on this channel I'm just gonna speak my own experience. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I talked for maybe 50 minutes. I do think my videos are pretty nice, so if you think so too, then go subscribe to my channel, leave a like, comment, anything. So yeah, that completes the end of my video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am tired, I am sleepy, I didn't go to bed until 8 AM today. So yeah, love you guys, bye.